Hi everybody, it's Christina. I'm switching up the filming location just because I wanted to have the tree in the background. Like we only have a few more weeks, right, of holiday time, so I thought it would make sense to keep it there. So today's video, I really wanted to talk about how I'm kind of finding myself falling back into these old habits and these old ways that I've done things in the past. And I think the good thing now that I'm identifying is that I'm actually able to notice that I'm doing that, so that way I can take steps to go back to where I was, right? So I think acknowledgement is super key, and that is a sign of healing, and healing is not linear. I think that's super important to understand, is that it doesn't just go up, right? Or it's not consistently straight. Sometimes you go down, sometimes you go up, sometimes you go backwards. So I think this part of the year, and for me, it's honestly been with work where I have a lot of deadlines, right? We're pushing to the end of the year, and I just find myself throwing myself back into work. And like yesterday, thankfully my boyfriend was off, so I made it a point to try to be present and have some time with him. But like the day before, he was working all day, so I basically worked from probably like 8 o'clock all the way till maybe 11, like literally just plugging away and plugging away and plugging away. And I think in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like that's a familiar place for me to be, because I'm a perfectionist. I feel like I have to get everything perfect, and this specific deliverable is very important because it has a lot of good visibility on my team. So I want to make sure that it looks really good. So I'm putting in all these hours. I'm going above and beyond what I feel like is needed, because that's what I feel like I need to deliver. So the last few weeks have been very, very draining for me. And, it kind of breaks my heart because we're in this time of year. It's my pit bull. We're in this time of year where everything's supposed to be so festive and so fun, and I just feel honestly like I'm burnt out, which I've done this to myself, and I've done this to myself before. So it's a very familiar feeling of here we are again, right? And I've noticed that these little things that I've incorporated into my healing journey to make myself feel better and give myself more self-care have been put on the back burner, right? So I think I told you before, I was doing this thing where I wake up early, I kind of check in with myself, I meditate. That's all going on the back burner because I'm so tired. So honestly, instead of me waking up at 7:30, I'm waking up at like 7:50 basically, because I'm like, oh, let me get a little bit more sleep because I'm exhausted because I'm working so late, right? So you can see how these cycles, just continue, right? Based on familiar patterns. And I feel like for me, it's so easy for me to sink back into these places where I've been, because it is still so familiar. Even though I'm healing and I'm moving past a lot of these points, it's still so familiar for me. And I think that's why it's so easy for me to kind of like coast back in, because I know how it feels, right? I still know how it feels, and it feels very, very familiar and very comfortable. So I think that's kind of a place that I go to. Where do I go from here? And the first step, honestly, again, acknowledging, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, yes, I'm falling back into these patterns. I don't want to be back there, because then that basically takes me from a place of being present, and it's the complete opposite. And I think honestly for me, I'm not super comfortable in the present, being present and being here and being with people and not doing all these other things. Like that's hard for me. Like it's hard for me to sit still, and my boyfriend will always tell you, like, you don't know how to sit your ass down and just rest, which is true. So yeah, I think for me it's just a matter of okay, so we know what this is. I've been here before, I know it. So what am I going to do to get out of it and get me back to where I was? So step one is definitely going to be I have to help my mentality, right? So I think with that, it's affirmations. So I'm telling myself, like, you can only do what you can do. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a good, plan B, right? Here's where you want it to be. If you get to this point, like that's good enough. You're satisfying what I need to deliver, and it doesn't necessarily need to have all the bells and whistles, right? So that needs to be in my mind, because I think what I'm doing is I'm gravitating more towards it has to be here. And it doesn't have to be here, right? It can be over here, and that's fine. And you're still gonna look awesome. You're still gonna bring the team pride, right? It's all good. So that's number one. Number two is getting back into these habits that I know are good for me, right? I know it's good for me to wake up early, focus on myself for a little while, even if it's 20 minutes. Usually that's all it is. Like it's literally 20 minutes. that I'm waking up early, I'm meditating for 20 minutes nonstop, and then I'm writing in my journal, right? I do gratitude. I do, how my energy levels are, what I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling, right? So all of those things are really important. And I honestly just, these cases where I put work first and that on the back burner, I feel such a difference in my day. And it's so true, because that those little moments, and again, they don't have to be super long, because initially I'm thinking, oh, I don't have time for that, right? I'm so busy, I work a lot. But there's always time. If you prioritize it, you can find time any time of the day, right? Little 20-minute, little increments of time. So that was one of the things that I know I need to get back into. So I will start waking up early again, meditating for the 20 minutes, doing my gratitude journals. And then I feel like that's going to help. But this period of time is busy, but I want to make sure, and I feel, again, we're like, a week away from Christmas at this point. So it's like, like, I don't want it to be over and be like, damn it, like I didn't have more time to enjoy it because I was doing all these other things. So that's my focus too, is like, slow down, slow the F down. I feel like I need to tattoo that on my eyelids. Like, it's okay to rest. And this is a period of time where we rest, right? I'm still gonna be working over the next few weeks, like not the Christmas or the holiday days, but like I could have taken those 2 weeks off, but this is my first week that I'm technically on this first year that I'm technically on this new team. So I wanna kind of like there's old habits that I find myself falling into. So like, I want to still prove myself. Like, I feel like I'm still proving myself. So I don't know why, but in this case, I feel like it's kind of like a badge of honor, and I hate that I have to say it this way, but I feel like it's kind of a badge of honor to say, oh no, I'm working through, I'm only taking the holiday days off. I'm going to plug away these other days. Like, it's frustrating, and I hope you can see the frustration in myself and how I see this, and that, it's disappointing, because for me, it's like, I feel like I've made so much progress, and then just to kind of have to step it back a little bit. But, I think this is a good example of how healing, again, is not linear. It doesn't go one direction all the time. It's not always gradually improving. It doesn't always get easier, right? Sometimes we fall back into old patterns, and that's okay, right? We're human. So what I'm doing at this point is giving myself grace. I understand this is part of the process. I'm acknowledging it, and I think I'm giving myself a lot of credit for that, because I can see it. I can see what's happening here, and now I need to course correct, right? I need to like re-anchor myself and say, okay, we see that we're over here. We're moving obviously in the wrong direction, backwards. How can we get back on track, right? How can we get the train back on the rails, back on the rails, and get going again? Because again, this is a time of year where I really want to enjoy it, and I feel like I haven't been enjoying it as much as I should be. I should be watching way more Christmas movies, making way more cookies, and I've been wrapping pretty well. So I started my Christmas shopping early, thankfully. So that's all going really good. But yeah, just wanted to check in with you, let you know, again, this is a really good accountability tool for me. It's given me the ability to check in and really share what I'm learning, because it's very mind-blowing to see kind of where you're going and where you've come from. That's what I was hoping for, in part, is to be able to have a space that I can say, hey, this is what I'm proud of, this is what maybe I'm not proud of, and that way, you can see that the journey is not linear. Again, you're gonna have roadblocks, you're gonna have things that come up. I've lived in these patterns for decades, right, where the perfectionist patterns and the feeling like I need to prove myself via my productivity patterns, and so it's very easy for me to go back into those spaces because it's very comfortable. But the difference is now I can step away from myself and see that I'm doing that and really take action to change and to get back on track to where I was. So that's what we're gonna do. Again, starting probably tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up early, because today was another one of those days that I'm like, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit because I'm tired, because I was, stayed up late, and I need to get back to where I feel good in my body and I feel good in my mind, and yeah, peace, right? That's what we're seeking. We're seeking peace. So starting tomorrow, wake up early, do my meditation, do my journaling, and then we'll go from there. So I hope you have a wonderful week. If I don't, I think I'm going to talk to you on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is Wednesday of next week, I think. So I will chat with you then. I hope you have a great holiday season. And yes, just take care of yourself. Give yourself some grace. This is a busy time of year, but it's also a beautiful, beautiful time of year. So I hope you really give yourself the space to enjoy it. I see you, and you deserve all the good things.